Hi guys, how's everyone doing today? Thanks so much for hanging out with me. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Zita, and on my channel I'll be sharing a variety of DIYs with you, such as thrift store makeovers, upcycles. I'll be doing some room makeovers and thrift flips for resale, some home decorating, and I'm also going to share some recipes with you guys every now and again. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button and also click that notification bell. That way YouTube will notify you when I upload a new video. The more DIY friends we have, the better. And you can also follow me over on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and Etsy at OakWell Home. In today's video, guys, I'll be sharing some Easter DIYs with you. So let's get started and see what I created. So for my first Easter DIY here, guys, I have these Easter eggs that I picked up from the dollar store, and I'm going to be painting these with some chalk paint and some Rust-Oleum matte white paint. So first I'm putting them on some skewers and just putting them in this box here so that they will be easier to paint. And I'm putting a little bit of glue at the opening so they don't come apart. And then I'm going to take them outside once I have them all on the skewers and give them a couple of coats of spray paint. So I got some chalk paint here and some Rust-Oleum white paint. So I have these really nice Easter colors in this like bluish green color. And then I have a light pink and then the white. So make sure you have your protective gear on, guys. So here's what they look like after they're all dry and ready to get going on our first craft here. So I have this bottle, actually a jar. It's like a big mason jar for storing some food. So I didn't have a tall vase on hand, so this is what I use. So guys, if you want to create some little Easter decor and you don't have a tall vase, you can use something like this, like a tall food jar or something like this, and I'm going to make a nice little display in there. So I'm putting some of these Easter eggs inside that I just finished spray painting. Don't those colors look awesome? I love that. Like, I think it's like a duck egg blue and then the pink and then the white. So first I put in some black Excelsior there at the bottom just to show up the eggs, the color of the eggs. And then on top of the eggs I put some reindeer moss. And then on top of that I put some Spanish moss here, and this stuff is really messy, guys, so you'll see that it goes all over my table there. So I kind of just put it over the jar so it wouldn't be as messy. So then I picked up this little rabbit from the dollar store and I put that inside, and after that I'm just putting in some floral, a little bit of greenery and a piece of lavender. And then I'm going to put in some battery operated lights in here. And these little lights I got at the dollar store as well. They kind of look like little flowers. So that was a really nice find for like the spring and Easter season. So then the final thing here is I'm wrapping some twine around the top, and this one is all done, guys. Quick and easy and very inexpensive. This was like less than $5 to make this Easter home decor. So what do you think of this one, guys? Pretty quick and easy, eh? So let me know in the comments, what do you think of this one? For the next DIY here, guys, I'm going to be doing an Easter mason jar. And my first step here is to put some Fusion Ultra Grip on. You can also spray a Rust-Oleum clear spray on there. And this is going to help the chalk paint or whatever type of paint you're using. It's going to help the chalk paint to adhere better. So I put a couple of coats of my homemade chalk paint on there, and if you haven't seen that video, I do have a video of how to make homemade chalk paint, and there's the beautiful little Easter napkins. So once I gave that sanding, I took apart my napkin here, and for this decoupage I'm going to use a water method to apply it on top of this jar first, and then I'm going to put some Mod Podge on top of that. So first I'm going to go around with some water and a brush to tear apart my napkin here to fit on the jar. So I'm going around those two cute little bunnies there. Aren't they cute? And I picked up these napkins at the dollar store, guys. So check your local dollar store. I believe I got these at the Dollarama, and I don't think you guys have the Dollarama in the States for you American viewers that are watching. So I'm using this piece of plastic. This is like for going in a binder, but you can also use like a Ziploc bag. And I'm using a spray bottle of water here. I'm just going to spray the napkin, and then I'm going to transfer it onto the bottle by putting the plastic on there and helping it off with the brush. But first I'm just going to wet this paintbrush here and kind of smooth out my napkin and get any wrinkles out of it. And once I have that done, I'm going to place it on top of the jar. And don't go too hard when you're doing this, guys. Just go lightly with the brush. So once I have that smoothed out, you're going to take a dry rag and tap it on your napkin just to get the excess water off. So I'm going to place my plastic around the bottle and then lightly take it off with your brush. Now I think for this piece, the other little plastic bag would have been better for me to use, like a little Ziploc bag, because it was more pliable. This was a little stiffer, but it came off with a little help with my brush, and it was easy to kind of spread the napkin out once I had that piece of plastic off, as you can see here. And I'm going to rip off any excess napkin here because it is wet, so it was very easy to rip off. Did that on the bottom as well, and then I'm going to smooth out my napkin a little bit more with some more water on my brush just to get any wrinkles out there. And then once that is done, I'm going to apply some Mod Podge on top of that. Don't those bunnies look awesome, guys? Now I'm just dabbing up any excess water here on it, just drying it out a little more before I apply my Mod Podge. So I'm going to apply a coat of Mod Podge and then let that dry, and I'm also going to try a little different method here too, guys, just to kind of blend the napkin in with the mason jar a little more. So once that is dry, I'm going to apply some paint to kind of blend in that napkin a little bit more. But you want to, now I kind of went a little heavy on the paint there in the beginning, so don't do that, guys. Dab off your paint, like dab it off onto the paper there, and kind of go around the edges of your napkin and kind of almost like a dry brush in here. See, I'm taking some off there because I went a little heavy in the beginning. So then I dab my brush made it more like a dry brush method and went around the edges, and then kind of went around the whole mason jar again, and blended that paint in with the napkin, and it kind of made it look like that napkin was part of the bottle. Doesn't that look awesome? It turned out really well. I'm going to be trying this method again on some other projects in the future, guys, so make sure you click that notification bell, because I'm going to try some signs with this wet method as well. Doesn't that look so cute? Now guys, you can use this to put some jelly beans in, some chocolate. Great to give a kid for Easter. I almost said Christmas there. But it'll be great. Put some candy or chocolate in there for your kid at Easter, or even an adult. I'd love to get something like this. How about you guys? So what do you think of this wet method, guys? Let me know in the comments. My next DIY here, guys, I picked up this little wreath at the thrift store like a couple months ago, I believe. But I didn't really like the yellow flowers on there, or the yellow eggs. So I took it all apart. I left the feathers on there, and so these are the eggs that I painted earlier. Actually, the yellow eggs that were on there, I also spray painted those. So I put some pink and the duck egg blue eggs on there, and then I went around with a piece of lavender on top of the eggs, going around the wreath. And then I had these masks here, I had these for years in my craft supply, so I finally took some feathers out of some of them and used them on this little wreath here. So I'm finally getting some use out of these. So I have these beautiful feathers on there, so I'm gonna put those into the wreath as well, and I'm just gonna go around the rest of the wreath with the feathers. And once I have that done, I'm gonna stick a little bird on there that I picked up at the dollar store. So this was a quick and simple project too, guys, because the wreath was already made for me. Do you guys like these grapevine wreaths? I think they look very natural, don't they? I like them. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of these kind of wreaths, or do you prefer to make your wreaths with the wire? What do you think of this simple little quick DIY, guys? This next DIY is a really quick one too, guys. I have an old egg carton there, so if you got some of those laying around, they're perfect for some Easter DIYs. So I'm going to cut this one in half as well, and make two little different egg cartons here. So once again, I'm using some dollar store eggs that I picked up, but I'm not going to put the painted ones in these. I'm going to put the colorful ones in there. There's so many left over, so I'm just putting some black Excelsior in there, and then I'm going to put a little bit of burgundy on top of that one as well. And I'm using some Spanish moss as well, and then I'm going to put the colored eggs in there. And that was it for this one. And then the other one here, I put some reindeer moss and some Spanish moss in there, and then put some more colored eggs in that one. And then you can also put some chocolate or some candy in those little eggs there, guys. They open up, so you can put some little surprises in there, or maybe some bits of jewelry or something like that in there for your kids or some money. What do you guys put in your Easter eggs? Let me know in the comments. What kind of things do you guys like to get in your Easter eggs, or what kind of things do you like to put in there for your kids or for your nieces or nephews? So, see, this stuff is so messy, guys, that Spanish moss. I love that reindeer moss. It's nice and soft, and it fits in there nice and easy. It's not as messy as the Spanish moss. So I did these two little cartons differently, but kept the colored eggs in there again. So again, guys, these cost probably like a couple bucks to make, you know, because there's a whole bunch of eggs that come in those bags. And then the reindeer moss and the Spanish moss only takes a little bit. So this project is like a couple of bucks, guys. And it's quick. And for the final DIY here, guys, I have this thrifted pot here. It was already painted white, but it was kind of yellowing, so I gave it a nice coat of fresh coat of homemade chalk paint that I had. And again, I'll leave that recipe in the description box if you're interested in trying to make your own chalk paint. Then I used some of that duck egg blue or like a turquoise that I picked up from the Dollar Tree, and some white. I just mix that together, and then I'm gonna dry brush some of that color onto the pot, just here and there, just to bring out some of the eggs that I'm gonna put in this pot. So first I'm gonna fill this pot with some black Excelsior again, just to fill it up, and then I'm gonna put some Spanish moss and some reindeer moss in there, and some of those painted eggs that I have there to the side, and then I'm gonna put some florals in there, and some branches as well that I had on hand. So there's the black Excelsior. And for that Spanish moss, I'm just leaving it in the bag there this time so it doesn't make a mess everywhere. So that was the next layer I did, was the Spanish moss, and then I did the reindeer moss on top of that. This was a really quick and simple DIY too, guys. So most of these projects that I did today were really quick and simple. You could get these all done in a day for sure. And I had this branch here on hand, and so I just cut this with this I forget the name of this tool. What's the name of this tool, guys? Let me know in the comments. I just can't think right now what the name of this tool. I just ordered this from Amazon, and you can cut small pieces of wood with it, and you can cut it on an angle, you can cut it straight. There's a piece on there that moves around. So here I'm putting in some florals, some greenery, and then a piece of lavender, and I also put in a little bit of yellow flowers here from that wreath that I did earlier, and it's going to make it nice and springy looking. Doesn't that look nice? Looks very springy and Eastery as well with those eggs in there. And doesn't that blue on the pot, like, it picks up those eggs in that pot? So what do you think of all of these DIYs today, guys? Let me know in the comments. I hope they all gave you some inspiration to make some of your own Easter DIYs. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell so you can see more videos like this one, and see some upcoming videos of that wet Mod Podge project that I'm going to be doing. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have an awesome day. Bye.